Hey, Natalia, how you doing?
Hi. Hi, Pushpinder. How do you pronounce your name?
Pushpinder.
Pushpinder, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know, for some reason I should have pushed something on my screen, so I cannot see myself. I only can see. Oh, I don't know why. I cannot see me on the background on this particular computer.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great. Good to see you, Stephen.
Hey, well, not a problem at all. Thank you for having me today. It's going to be my daughter's in the hockey tournament there right now, so she plays hockey there a bit, but just trying to get in to say hi and see how everybody's doing and kind of go from there. But yeah.
I think we were going to go over FinTrack stuff today, right, Natalia?
Yeah, maybe we will, since Stephen with us, we can talk about his experience a little bit.
Oh, how to be a #1 realtor. I don't know. I just my recent. Tell me what's your secret? Okay, so I've been cracking my head about this. How to sell more than 40 homes per year.
Okay.
What's your secret, Stephen?
Work hard.
Yep.
Work hard. Talk to lots of people.
Yeah.
It's you have to be organized. You have to be willing to talk to people, and you just have to be very, very proactive to be able to get out there and just make things happen every day. You have to use your time very, very wisely and so on. I have a realtor in my office that sold 44 homes this year, and his goal to hit 50, and unfortunately he hasn't been able to do so just because it's so hard, right? Myself, I sold 74 homes in my second year in the business with no assistants, no buyer's agents, no nothing, all by myself.
Yeah.
So it's very, very possible to do it. It's just, you have to make sure that you get enough leads to be able to, put the deals together and everything else. And I find that, the game has changed a lot from back then, whenever I did those numbers, to today. I'm not as active as I was because obviously I have other commitments and stuff that I'm taking care of with our brokerage and so on.
Yeah.
My idea of the business has also changed a lot to where I'm a firm believer. Like back then I spent thousands and thousands of dollars. There were years where I put $150,000 into my business, into marketing and advertising and doing all that stuff, which was insane, but that's what I did. Whereas now everything with social media, most of it's all free. As far as reaching out to your friends, family, clients, and everybody else, to sit back and have good relationships, I was doing those things, but just differently than I would today. Like today, for example, I want to say back then I was probably a lot more transactional than I was relational. And I think that the more relationships that you can build, the better it is to get those leads to be able to go and do your thing. And I find that if you reach out to people on a regular basis every day, talk to a certain number of people, even say 10 people a day. And if you just build a relationship with them to where you call them, you ask how their day is going, you really truly are in that moment. Within time, I believe that either they will buy or sell real estate through you or give you a lead of some type, or they'll refer somebody to you on a constant basis. And how would your business change if you had 5 people, for an example, refer you 5 deals this year? That's 25 deals. You want to do 50 deals. We'll get 10 people to refer you 5 people, and you did nothing other than talk to your friends, family members, and so on.
Yeah.
I spoke to some girls. They were with a different company in Toronto a few years ago, and they're 2 twin sisters. To the best of my knowledge, each one of them made $6 million, that year that they made. And they did not sell real estate. All they did was talk on the phone all day long to their friends, family, and everybody else they know. And then they had a team where they would refer it out to their buyer's agent and their listing agent. Insane amount of money. These girls were champions. But it all comes down to building the best relationships you can. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get leads, but you do have to invest your time to get leads, right? Yeah. There's so much stuff that you can do. And instead of you going to spend all that money into there, spend the money into your friends, family, buy them pumpkins at Thanksgiving, buy them a gift 4 times a year just to say, hi, I'm in the area. Here you go. I was thinking of you. Have client parties and stuff like that. I used to have client parties where it would be like a full blown wedding reception, right? I'd have a band. I'd have everybody come in. I'd give them a poker chip. Yeah, go to the bar. You can get any drink you want. I don't even drink myself, but it would cost me $5,000 to throw this party that night. And all of a sudden there, like, you know, it was incredible. Anybody that referred me business, home inspectors, mortgage brokers, you know, whoever, I reached out to them and said, guys, if you're interested in giving a gift at our party, you know, I'm looking for $150 or more as a gift, as a door prize. And whenever we draw the names, you're going to get your picture with them. You're going to give it out to them and so on. So once again, I built referrals, right?
Yeah.
Stuff is awesome, but it just comes down to time. You really have to work because it's hard.
Yeah, that's actually a great great thing that you mentioned about parties, because Christmas is coming up, and that's one of the things that I was talking to you about, Natalia, is maybe sponsoring the Christmas event at my kid's school and doing a prize giveaway over there. And yeah, we can at least get out and put our name up there, and you know, make sure all the other parents. I mean, they know me for years already, but I think not a lot of them know that I do real estate. So.
See, and that's the thing is that, like, you know, we had one realtor back a handful of years ago where, you know, she was doing Zumba and doing all that stuff. I think I mentioned the last time that we were talking. And one of the questions I asked is that, does everybody that's part of that group know that you're a realtor? She's like, I think so. I said, well, thinking and knowing are two totally different things. So you really have to make sure that they know that you're a realtor, that you're the area specialist, and that if they think of real estate, you're the only one that they think of. One thing I would caution you on is that there's so many different places to throw money out there. You know, as far as sponsoring things and stuff, myself personally, I'm not really a big fan of sponsoring things, but I love throwing big events. Like for an example, here in Cornwall, we were the host, the main sponsor of the Cornwall Winterfest Carnival, where it benefited 60,000 people. That was right. The thing that you have to caution on when you're sponsoring, some of the stuff is really cool. Like as far as the Christmas party for your kids, absolutely. I mean, it's going towards your kids. Like, what better of a way can you go? But if you're going to sponsor some type of an event, a tournament, just something that's going on, the challenge is that sometimes you could spend $100, $500, $5,000, whatever the amount is, and you're going to have one little tiny little ad that's going to say your company name or your name or whatever. Nobody knows you're there other than you. So that being said, could you take that money and invest it somewhere to get a better return on it? I think you can.
Yeah, no, it's at the school event, it would be different. We would actually have like a game booth. So people would come over to our booth and they would like have a game, play some sort of a game to win a prize, like type of like a carnival type of thing. So I think there would be more than just, you know, just the names thrown up somewhere in the background. So I think that, yeah, I definitely get your point about being very careful about being a sponsor in name only and not having any opportunity to promote your business. Another event that I'm looking at sponsoring is it's a church event. It's at it's a Christmas event as well at an Orthodox church and in Surrey. And over there, they're actually offering to play a 30-minute commercial in between programming. So, you know, if we want to throw in anything about our brokerage or what we do, we can certainly take that opportunity to promote, and they'll also post it in their Facebook group. So
awesome. I think any of that stuff, any opportunity you can get in the community, like through entire real estate career, since I started back in 2004, I've loved getting into the community and doing different things of charities, food drives, charity barbecues, doing all kinds of things just to get out. I mean, we've done all kinds of trade shows and different things just to get out. Try to separate yourself by doing these things, because a lot of people don't want to put in the hard work. This is nothing with selling real estate. It's giving back to your community. I'm a firm believer that if you take care of your community and the people that are close to you, those people will take care of you.
Yeah, sorry. Just my phone ringing off the hook. I just sent out a email about a pre-sale opportunity in Surrey, and my phone has just started ringing. the email literally went out at 3 o'clock.
So you can.
I was just like, oh, can't talk right now in a Zoom meeting. How can I help?
You can take call and teach how to reply calls.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
One trick is there is, like, you know, it's hard, especially whenever you are a good realtor. I'm sorry, the light keeps going out. I'm in my car. So much as a timer of some type. that little thing that's there, I mean, I don't mind right now because I mean, obviously we're here and it's before your event and all that stuff. But I found that just as feedback wise, especially being, a mature realtor and stuff like that, I know of realtors that never drop a call ever in their life. Drop the calls. I'm telling you right now, drop as many as you can, to the fact that if you're with somebody, be with them. Because if you're showing somebody a $5 million property, are you with them or are you with the person that's on the telephone? Right? Be in the moment, because if you don't, that will cost you so much. And it's all that every person that I've ever talked to in my entire career, I'm like, guys, if you call me, if something happens, I can't answer the phone, please leave a detailed message. And I promise I'll always get back to you as soon as I'm done with the appointment. And at least this way, every person that I've ever talked to, you set that expectation to where at least this way, when you go back, return the calls. That's one thing, seriously, that I think that has separated me from a lot of people, is that I did that from day one, and at least this way people know that when they're with me, the only people that I would answer the phone for, and I tell everybody, is if it's my wife, Julie, or my kids, right? If one of them calling me, I'm sorry, I'm answering it because I'm seeing what's what, because there's something going on.
If it's if it's my kid's school calling in the middle of the day, I better pick that up, because could be some of them. Something happened.
Yeah, but there are people that I know that, like, are realtor wise, they've been on the phone the entire time. They've went in to show a property. They've talked on that phone to somebody else the entire time they were there. They go sit in the kitchen, let the buyers walk around. I'm like, that's not a good way to do business, right? Those people don't work for me, but I've heard of that from buyers that have told me that, right? I'm like, that's insane. So there's so many just different little things you can do, right, to separate yourself.
For sure.
But yeah, no, the doing the 40 deals and stuff like that, what is your goal towards that? I mean, is that, where you'd like to go? I mean, what's the height of where you'd like to go yourself? I mean, we're going to talk about that next week, but from there, I mean, what do you think you have to do to hit 40 goals, to hit 40 deals?
Send out 4 emails.
Perfect. How often?
Over the course of a week.
Okay. You know what? This is something here that I'm going to share with you in this one.
And follow up on everyone who opens that email or clicks on the links that are in it. And the reason is, like, I just had an epiphany yesterday. I was like, okay, the quickest way for me to sell that many homes in a month is if I'm selling a building, if I'm selling a project. So there's a big concrete tower that's going up in Surrey. It's actually the first tower of 3. I know once they sell out phase 1, they'll be doing phase 2 and phase 3. So in each tower, there are over 200 units. I'm not looking to sell the whole building. I'm just looking to sell a couple, maybe 10, 20 units would be nice. They're sharply priced for concrete high rise. I've looked at a couple in the area, and I know in general right now it's $1,000 per square foot, even in Surrey, for a concrete building. And this one's priced lower. So I just let people know about the opportunity. Follow up with anyone who opens or clicks on my email, and if they don't have the money, or if they're not ready, maybe they know somebody who is. And just just get out there and like you said, talk to more people.
Even for that, though, that, I mean, if they don't have the money for that building, that unit, doesn't mean you can't find anything else. And then on the other side of that, it's like, it's a spin off and follow up with every lead that ever comes through, and to go from there. I mean, if I talk to people that are getting pre-approved, for an example, and if things just are not perfect for them today, it doesn't mean that they're not going to buy later. Stay in contact with them, right? And then all this here, you just build up that database to where at least this way here, you can have people to talk to. In the beginning of your career, that one person that you're working with, the only one you're working with, is the most valuable client you ever have, because they're the only one. But once you have a whole bunch of them, then all of a sudden here, you get to really get to work with who you like, who you trust, who you want to hang out with, and go from there, right? And it's a lot more enjoyable. You find a lot more success. And then also, because they like you, you like them, they're also going to refer you business. And then where's that going to go, right? But everybody has a different spin of how they like to do things. And I think that, the way that you're describing, I think it's great. And I think everybody has a different way. I know of a guy back years ago that he was kind of the condo king, where he would go into, 300 unit buildings. They would flyer, it was kind of farming. They would flyer 2 of these buildings. Well, that's 700 units. How many more do you need, right? And every one that was in there, he and his wife would list them all and sell them all. He did very, very so.
Yeah, it also comes down to kind of knowing your market and your inventory. For example, I know Vancouver and Richmond quite well because I've spent most of my life living in between those 2 municipalities, and I kind of know that what the market needs right now is more affordable inventory, like first-time buyer inventory.
Yep.
And a lot of those people, would like to sell. Maybe they're thinking of selling, but they're just, maybe haven't had anybody approach them or haven't really thrown that idea. So I've also kind of handpicked a couple of complexes. I've got cards printed too that I'm gonna get around to sending probably this weekend. That basically reach out to these people and see if they would consider selling their townhome. I actually have buyers who, potential buyers who are on the fence. They're sitting and they're waiting for the perfect home to come along. And I know that, in one of those 3 complexes, they would definitely find something that they like.
And it's just a matter of letting people know that this is what you're looking at, right? It's your little niche, it's your niche market, it's your niche people that you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be hard. It just matters finding something, finding a plan of where you want to go, and then, capitalizing and doing the actions that you need to make that happen. I find that it's like anything else. I mean, it's to build a momentum. In the beginning, it's hard because all of a sudden it's like, okay, how do I approach this? Who do I have to talk to? And so on. And then you'd be amazed at people that are kind of paralyzed by fear, where they really have a hard time in reaching out to people, depending on the personality. Once you start to get going, it's just part of who you are. It's just like getting up and brushing your teeth and getting dressed. It's just part of that habit, right? And
it's a lot easier if you have value, if you have something valuable to share with this person.
Yep.
Yeah. It just feels a lot nicer if you have something exciting to talk about.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the more that you know about your market, I mean, it helps you be that area specialist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, separating you from everybody else. Well, you want to try to find these little things. A lot of it comes down to the knowledge, right? If they like you and they trust you, once again, I believe that they'll do business with you, so yeah.
All right.
Nice.
I like
I really pressed somewhere. I don't know where. I cannot show my video. I did a lot of adjustments, maybe inside when I do it early, maybe need a few hours to figure out.
Little icon there, the mute video.
I cannot, like when I put it, now I'm on video, but for some reason it's only picture showing.
It's a nice picture.
Sorry for that.
No worries.
No worries.
We know you're here. What is it?
How many viewers do you have there today watching?
I think we just have just the 5 of us.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think we had anybody else join in, but we can certainly put that up on social media once we're done.
Sure.
But yeah, what a crazy day today. It's literally from the moment I woke up, I've been in front of a computer. I'm even eating in front of a computer now. I'm eating in front of a computer in the breaks between handing up the phone.
Yeah, just with that stuff here, it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to caution you to make sure that you pace yourself.
Yeah.
If not, people do burn out and stuff like that. I've always questioned, and I've never felt any pain and stuff like that, but I know people that have, and it's just a matter of you really have to find the time to do what you need to do. Fill your schedule with everything you do. And, people have to-do lists, for an example. Fill your schedule. Because if your schedule, you're going to do all those to-do lists. You're going to return those phone calls, time block, whatever you need to, but time block time for yourself too, to go for walks, to be able to eat, to be able to go work out at the gym, or whatever you do. Could be to read a book, for an example. Just time block stuff for you. So at least this way here, will continue to keep growing, but you'll be consistent in doing all these things that you're doing also. Because I find that a lot of people, like I used to cold call, where I'd speak to 25 people every day, Monday to Friday. And, I did that. I really enjoyed it because I like talking to people. And then I was introduced to door knocking. The cold calling, they said back then that you had to talk to 150 people to get a lead, whereas door knocking, you only had to talk to 50 people to get a lead. I'm like, all right, perfect, much easier. Let's go door knocking, right?
Yeah.
I did that. But a lot of people will do it for a little while and they're all excited, everything else. They do it for a day, do it for a week, and then all of a
And
sudden
they spit it out.
Exactly. So it's just to find whatever is good for you. It could be to do it for 2 hours a day. It could be to reach 25 people in a day, for an example, or email 4 people, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to do, but make sure that you are in control of your business, not somebody else. Because once you do get busy, everyone else out there is going to try to control you and your business. I want to go see this now. Well, unfortunately, I'm at my kid's hockey game right now. I can't be there. So how does tomorrow at 2:00 or tomorrow at 6:00 sound?
Yeah.
Give them a choice.
Yeah. I never tell people if I'm with my kids. I always say that I'm in the middle of a meeting right now.
You know what? I'm proud of where I am. I've sold lots of real estate in my career. And I'm like, you know what? We need to have a little bit of a life too. So
I don't know. It's I almost feel like people will judge me like as a mom if I spend any time with my kids because they'll be like, oh, she's not working, she's being a mom. It's like
that's
she's
insane.
probably more about her kids than about doing business. So
with this stuff here, I mean, what's the reason of why you're in the business? What is your main purpose? What wakes you up in the morning and gives you the fire in your belly to go whenever everything is negative, everything is horrible, and whatever? What gives you the fire to push through that?
I have to make it for my kids. My kids are the number one reason for me to succeed.
So with that, I tell everybody I'm with my kids. I don't care what they do. And with this stuff here, like the first thing, my wife, Julie, she's always had kind of a master calendar schedule for a family. The first thing I do every single day, every month is anytime she writes anything into there, I throw it into my schedule and I book everything else around it. And I've done that right from day one. Now there's different ways to be, organized to be able to do a high amount of deals, right? You still have to do the stuff. So even if I take time during the day to go to a hockey game or go to a dance recital or singing or whatever, well, yeah, I might work a little bit later. Whereas the person that's doing the 9 to 5 punch a clock, they don't understand, right?
Yeah.
You're still making the time to get stuff done. It's just in a different time than what they would do it. So be proud of what you're doing. I'm serious with this one. And the nice thing is that not everybody's going to like you, but you're not going to like everybody either. The people that like you, they trust you, they want to work with you. They know that you're a mother and they like you because you're a mother. They like you because you're a good person, right? They're the people that you want to go get. You don't want to get, I'm sorry to swear, the assholes, stay away from those people. And it's like, work with the good people.
Yeah.
For me, what I can say in my company, like when I just joined, I don't know why, but like from day one, I was a first producer, right, for rentals, like top producer. And they asked me, Natalia, how you can do it? Like everything's so horrible and you day in and day out, push and push. And you know what it was for me? It's very strange, but for me, it was a competition. I was competing with myself to make sure I have no vacancies. So for me, it would be shame if I have vacancy between 10 and move out and move in. So that was my kind of what get me up. Yeah.
And I've always done this thing. Like whenever I started in the business when I was 26 years old. And, I used to walk up and down our hallway every time at our office at that time. I'd ask everybody, what are you doing today? And what can you teach me? And then from there, it was funny because all the advice that I was given, none of them were doing it themselves. Yeah, you should do this. Nobody did it themselves. I did it myself. So I would take that idea, I'd modify it so it was comfortable for me and for the environment that I was in. And then I'd go and do it. And I would be consistent at it. Like I used to take my kids flyering with me, for an example, when they were young kids, like I'm talking like 1 and 2 kind of thing, 1 and 3. And I'd be pushing them in the stroller, handing out flyers and fridge magnets with my card on it, right? It was a big day once it came to the point where they could actually put it on the house themselves, right? So it's like I did all this stuff and my family was part of my business all the way through. Some people may say, well, you're from the country, like, you can do that, but in the city, you can't. Well, that's fine. I don't want to work with those people that don't want to work with me. So I'm okay with that because there's lots of people that are out there that would love to work with you and they understand because they have kids themselves. It's kind of it's an ego within reason, right? There's a difference in being cocky or being confident. And
Right.
I just like to run my business the way that I run my business. So at least this way I have that enjoyment, that satisfaction, and I get to have a level of success that I myself would like to have.
Yeah.
Right? It's just kind of an edge. Because I think that once again, anybody that is in this business that is a parent, that is running a very successful business, and that is,
Yeah.
producing, you deserve an award.
Right.
Because is that your
Yeah, because at any time you're in the middle, you're driving, and
Yeah.
then kids are like, fighting in the back seat about something.
Yeah.
They're
But
done
some
that.
people understand.
And
Yeah.
you're taking a call, and you're like, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something right now. Can I give you a call back in like 10
Yeah.
minutes when I can pull over and tell them to shut up, or like give them a cookie so they stay quiet for 5 minutes
Right.
while I get
That-
out of the car and actually talk on the phone.
Yeah, been there and done that. And I mean, it's amazing how you have to teach your kids that this is your business. This is how you live. This is how we have our home. This is how we eat. This is how you can live life. It's like we really need, when that phone rings, that you guys do need to quiet down. And it was kind of that training process, right?
Yeah.
But it's the truth, because you have
They're
to do
older.
it.
Yeah, they're older now, thankfully, so they understand
Nice.
a little bit better. So I
So
told them
can
right
we
now,
ask?
they're playing at home right now, but I told them mommy's on Zoom, so you have to keep quiet. So they're doing a good job staying quiet.
How old are your kids?
They're 9 and 11.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can we ask Pushinder and Grace what get them up in the morning? What they can say?
Yeah. Mhm. What gets you guys up and going in the morning?
Hi.
Hey. Pushpinder, you wanted to say
Hi.
something? Yeah.
Yeah, actually right now, when I have done engineering, so at
Yeah.
that time I was whenever I was wake up, I wasn't happy with that job. I wasn't excited, but with the property manager, I am really excited. So whenever I woke up, I always imagine I will be very good property manager. So,
Nice.
so the thing that wake me up right now is that I am in a field that I want. I don't have to live with the old job for the whole life. So that's a big thing for me.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And how about you, Grace? What gets you up and going?
I want to buy more house. That's what wakes me up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's expensive. The price is crazy in Greater Vancouver.
Yeah, I know. That's what I keep looking. It's like I keep helping all these people buy houses. I gotta save up enough to buy my own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
buy
what,
some investment properties.
like, everybody has a different purpose and a different reason of what wakes them up, right? I mean, myself, I've always worked hard to where I want to do something today that's going to benefit my family in the future, right? And it's like, I don't want to let my wife or my kids down. I mean, I have pictures in my office of my wife and my kids and stuff like that. And anytime that anything is kind of going where my energy is kind of depleting, or I'm tired, or something bad has happened in the day, or whatever the deal is, I just close my eyes, or I look at their picture kind of thing. And it just gives me that extra energy that I need to continue to keep pushing through that day. Everybody's different, right? But you have to have a reason, purpose of why you get up in the morning. It's so important. And I mean, if you want to go buy a home, or, you want to be the best property manager, or the best realtor, or you want to give back to your church, or you want to give back to whoever, you can do it, guys. I totally believe that you can. You just have to decide to do the little actions.
Yeah. The email has gone out. I'm now getting text messages, even from my boyfriend. He says, I want to buy property right now.
The Surrey one? The Surrey one?
The Surrey one.
Oh, that's good. He wants to buy Watson one?
The Watson one is higher price point. So I think that's why I'm not getting a lot of bites on that one. It's higher price point and it's leasehold. So I feel like we're gonna get a better traction with the next project, with the condo project in Tawasin, because it's gonna be a lower price point and people will feel more comfortable trying owning a leasehold. If they don't have to, if they can own something for 300,000, or $450,000. They don't have to drop that much down payment on it, right? We're talking 15%. So that feels a lot more comfortable for people than putting 20% on something that's priced 850,000, right? It's just more cash that they have to come up with.
Yeah,
And I
so
think
they are
that
not ready
one
for
thing-
it. So
Yeah.
then-
You know, as soon as you can get them into the game, well, then at least this way here, they're going to build equity to where it's going to be easier
Yeah.
to buy the second one or to make that upgrade. It's just to be able to get in the game.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking to the agent at the pre-sale center for the townhomes. That's what she says she's seeing, is that people who bought condos in phase one are now selling them and rolling over into townhomes in the phase two. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
I know
That's-
my sister was in Toronto and she moved back home here now, but they've bought, like, she would go to a it would be a townhouse, it'd be a brand new construction, stuff like that, and she'd sleep there overnight. My brother-in-law was a police officer, so he'd go by at night to make sure she's okay and stuff like that, but she'd stay there overnight. It was first come first serve, whoever would buy it, like, whoever's
Yeah.
there, conditions buy it because it's pre-built, right? And
Yeah.
then all this, they would do that. They did that 3 or 4 times, and then I guess maybe 4 times, and then they ended up, they kind of just kept upgrading as the times were to go on. And they've done very well. Now they can move back home here mortgage free and say thank you so much, and life is good. So it's just a matter of to get in the game, and it's scary stuff because it is a lot of money, but it is the best investment that anybody will ever have.
Right. Definitely. But coming up with 20% on 30,000 is a lot easier than coming up with 20% on
Sure.
800,000.
Exactly. Totally. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, even for that though, that, I mean, if you're coming up with that money, it's there. It is a lot of money. But once you get that house, well, then all of a sudden now you're using the equity within that property to be able to put towards for the next one, right? Whether you're buying a second property, whether you're just upgrading, going to sell that and upgrade, you're still able to use that resource, which is awesome to make it possible. And the earlier that you can start, the better that it is.
Right.
Steve, I don't know how much time you have, but would be nice to have you say something about FinTrack. Like,
Well, what would you like to know?
We have some here, like, training. So I did some tests just for words last Friday to check what means.
Which one of us knows the definitions of these?
Yeah.
I think more important than just knowing the abbreviations is knowing what they like, what's behind the act. And I read, actually, the last time that we did this FinTrack training, I read carefully through the 29 suspicious activities, and I would say that out of the 39 suspicious activities they mentioned, there's only 9 that specifically apply to realtors. The rest of them, I would say, they apply more to the financial services industry.
Yep.
Because they're more, they're required to keep track of the amount of transactions and the frequency of transactions and location of transactions that are taking place. As realtors, I think that's less of a concern. Nobody really takes cash anymore as deposits. It's all bank drafts and
The difference between that is once again, for realtor wise or the brokerage wise, the brokerage does have to keep track of the frequency of how often, like, we have different charts and stuff like that. So we know of every person that's ever bought since FinTrack has came out. We know how many homes they've bought and all that stuff. Whereas for the realtor wise, all you're doing is collecting the information, providing it to the brokerage. The brokerage keeps it under lock and key. If in the event FinTrack would like to come out and audit them in the future, they're going to randomly select different property and say, I want this one, this one, this one. We show them that the form has been filled out, that we've verified that it is there, and it's done. The easiest thing to do with that is that as you're either taking the listing or creating the offer, at that time, you're going to have to verify that that's who they are. So you're going to see their driver's license, passport, or whichever else. And then you verify that the information is there. They've changed it as the years kind of went on. Like, whenever they first came out, we had people come to our city anyway, and they kind of explained to us, they're like, yeah, you just give this to them, they fill it out, and they go from there. If they don't want to fill it out, you could write on it, strike it out. Oh, they chose not to give you the information. Then they kind of came, which is wrong. And then they came out and saying, no, you yourself have to verify this is who these people are, which is the right way. So we look at the driver's license, we fill out the information that's there, life as well. Now, if in the event that it was a commercial property, well, then you still fill out the individual form, but then you also fill out the corporate form also if they were a corporation, right? So you have to do the both, not just one.
Yeah. And if they're a politically exposed person, now you have to do the PEP form.
So it's pretty basic that way. Make it simple. Do you need to know necessarily everything about it? I'm going to say no. You don't need to understand every single thing that's there, but you have to understand what you have to do and what your job is, depending of what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're a realtor, this is what you need to do. You need to give the form to the brokerage saying that you verified it, everything is well. Your job is done as a realtor. The brokerage, like I said, they will have to do certain things also, and to go from there. And if you were into the lending or whichever else, well, obviously they may have some different rules that they have to follow and some different activities they have to do. Just make it simple. There are very, very good videos on YouTube. It was like FinTrack 101, where a lot of our realtors will actually sit back, and as soon as they're, especially a new realtor, we'll make them watch that. They sign a little form just saying that, yes, they've actually watched the video, and it explains everything. Everything that you need to know as a realtor is there.
Yeah. And as far as the, like clients doing suspicious activities, I think most of us have a pretty good, like, sense of intuition or gut feeling, if you say, when people are trying to sneak under the wire, they're trying to stay under the radar, they're, acting a little bit, more sneaky, or they're less forthcoming with information when you ask them, just straight up questions about who they're buying this property for, what their purpose is, what their plans with the home are, where they're getting their money, when you're starting to talk to people about these basic questions, you uncover pretty quickly, right? Whether people's intentions are genuine or whether they're trying to do something shady.
And the challenge is that as far as the government's concerned, the more transactions you do, the higher risk you are. Now, that sounds crazy to where on the form it's still saying, yes, I'm a Canadian resident or I'm not, right? But it's the more that, even though you're saying it's a low risk, you yourself and filling it out, as we, the brokerage, are collecting all these forms, once again, we have a chart so we can say, okay, perfect. Elena's bought 1 property, Natalia's bought 7 property. Oh, she's a little more high risk than Elena is, right? And it's just certain things to where we're not going to report that because you do have a good job. You're doing your thing. I don't see anything suspicious on it at all, but you're an investor. So from there, it's there. But if in the event that they were to audit, they may question the one that's bought 25 property a little bit more than the one that's bought 1. But even though, once again, like I said, they're a professional, they have the money, everything is legit, there's no issues. Now, if in the event that you are aware that something is funny, well, you are supposed to report it. And, it's either, you're supposed to report it, and also you're not supposed to deal with them. Because if they don't want to fill out the form, for an example, you actually have to ask yourself, is this something I want to get involved in? And that's hard because everybody wants the money. They all want to chase the commission and do that stuff. Well, what do you mean I can't work with these people? It's the law that if you're not filling this out, you can't work with them. And that's the part that a lot of people don't like. But it's not too often. We've never had anybody in our office that's been suspicious to somebody else that has bought a property so far. We've been part of a few thousand deals here over the last handful of years. And it's like we haven't seen anybody yet. So when you do,
and I would also say Google people that you do business with. You've got you've got an appointment, like an initial consultation with someone, ask for their full name, right? Their first name and last name, and just Google them. There's so much information right now that's available online. Nearly everybody has a LinkedIn profile, so you can quickly verify what their job is, what their full contact information is. There's a lot of information that you can find online. And actually, I did come across a very suspicious person in the very first 6 months after I got licensed. There was a guy who I was doing an open house for a team that I was on, and back then we could still double end deals. And there was a guy who came in, and this was like basically a land development deal. So this developer came in and he said that he would write directly through me.
Mhm.
And and then he wanted it, of course, in a corporation. And then I had trouble getting names of all the directors and trouble getting all of the IDs. Like, he was not very forthcoming with information. He's like, "Oh, do you really need to know who the directors are?" It's like, well, I'm
Yeah, you
just
do.
checking off my list here. This
Yep.
is like a checkbox 1, checkbox 2, see everybody's driver's license and occupations and so forth. And then I'm just like, I don't see your name as a director of corporation. Do you mind actually like telling me what your full name is? Like, who are
Yep.
you actually doing this business on behalf of? So finally, this guy pulls out his driver's license and he gives me his full name. 5 minutes later in the office, just Google search him in the
Yep.
news.
Oh, nice.
So ends up being like literally the biggest fraudster responsible for the largest real estate scam to date in BC.
Wow. And there you go.
It's just like,
Just come to
close one.
Yeah.
Close one. It's like, and I'm just like, later I called them up and was like, you know what? I looked into your background and your past history. I'm a new realtor. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling comfortable representing you, giving your previous background, and the litigation that you've been involved with. So,
Yep.
I can,
Good luck.
yeah, thank you, but no, thank you.
And
But
it
even for
was
that,
just to search them quickly, right? So
but you
sometimes
see, even
That's just Google
that, though,
searched. Yeah.
very, very few people will do that, in my opinion. And it comes down to where, as far as like the law, the government, all that stuff, and like, we've had a lot of resistance when it first came out here in our area. The people were angry and they're like, well, we're not the police. Like, our job's not to verify. Well, it's to
Yeah.
collect the information. That's
Yeah.
our job. And if you feel there's something weird or something fishy about it, well, then yeah, sure, take action, right? But I think
Yeah.
that there are some people like yourself that, it took you a couple minutes to Google their name and say, hey, how you doing? Right?
Yeah.
At least do some research to verify who they are.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, it's like some people will, some people will not. Our job is to ask them the questions, collect their information, and go from there. Now, I have seen at a different brokerage here, just 2 years ago, there was a gentleman that bought a gas station anyway, and he bought it in someone else's name, like totally fake ID, all kinds of stuff. That was not pretty. It was not with
Yeah.
our brokerage, with another one. But that was the biggest fraud case that I've seen to date. And just there's lots of shysters out there, right? So you just have to verify, do your thing.
Yeah.
You're not the police, you're a realtor, right?
Yeah.
Do your job.
This guy actually, he was involved in, he was, he basically got his lawyer to pull money out of trust accounts and use them for basically funding development deals. And
Really?
so how they got caught is that somehow, I guess, somebody miscounted, or basically on closing date, they failed to come up with the money needed to
Yep.
close a transaction. And then people are like, what? There's money missing from trust account. What's up with that? So anyway, his lawyer ended up in jail.
Yep.
And and it ended up costing legal society and thousands of legal fees
Yep.
because they had to cover millions of dollars of money missing from trust accounts. And yeah, every lawyer can thank that guy now for having higher legal fees, or higher basically E&O fees for their profession.
When you have trust accounts,
Yeah.
like even for our brokerage, we're not allowed to take the bank fees out of our trust account. We have to take it out of our general account, like, instead of that, because if you're $1 shy, they'll throw you in jail. They'll throw you in jail. Like, they don't screw with that because it's the public's money, right?
Yeah.
And so once people are playing those games, yeah, they're going to jail for a long time. Like, that's not nice.
Yeah. So anyway, trust but verify.
If you think it's fishy, it probably is, right? So do your due diligence and kind of decide, is this somebody that I'd like to work with or not? And go from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
But,
but for those who want job by hour in a brokerage, what is interested, it's actually profession compliance officer.
Mhm.
And it could be the hours, right? To,
Mhm.
to do those procedures regularly. For this purposes, it's an interesting thing to look at, right? So in a brokerage, it's a seniors officer, compliance officer, auditor could be one from within the brokerage, and staff also doing some of those. So
Yep.
from this point of view, everyone should be interested if they want to have additional income on a site,
Mhm.
regularly, not much to distract from their main business or commissions, but it's good enough and also helping with business.
But
Mhm.
see, even like from what we do in our office is that our realtor will go collect the information whenever they're doing either the listing or at the time of the offer. So at least this way they're verifying that stuff. If they do it at that listing, because really you're supposed to do it at the time of you have an offer. But the problem is whenever you have a listing, well, then all of a sudden you've already been working with these people. So
Mhm.
let's in the beginning, then not at the end. So it's just a matter of at that opportunity. That's what we've done. And then once they collect that info, then they give it to the brokerage. Francine, my office administrator, is also our compliance officer because she's looking at all these forms as they're coming in. So she can
Yeah.
verify, make sure that everything is filled out properly and all that stuff. So at least this way here, we can make sure it's there. And then she will put it on her checklist and be able to do what she needs to do, put it in a file that's, totally secure and everything else. So if in the event that we're audited, well, then at
Yeah.
least this year we can take those steps that are there. But
Yeah.
it is responsibility of the person that's there to verify. Now, if in the event that you have a client that is abroad that you can't necessarily see them in person, you have to get somebody to do it. It could be their lawyer. It could
Yeah.
be a realtor in that area, for an example. Maybe it might cost you, $50 or something to call up a realtor and say, I have a client in your area. Would it be possible for you to verify their FinTrack for me? Right?
Yeah.
Somebody legally has to do that. Some
Right.
people, example, may say, well, yeah, perfect. Can you just take a picture of your driver's license and send it to me? Right?
Mhm.
Thing is that that's not legally the way it's supposed to go. Somebody's supposed to meet the person and
Yep.
then verify the information. And then
Yeah, and it could be mortgage brokers. It could be basically a person that they work with at the bank, notary that's doing the transaction, the conveyancing for the transaction. It could be like a whole bunch of people. So it doesn't necessarily have to cost anybody any money. So
Question is today, who wants to be compliance officer in our brokerage?
mm,
For time being, right? We can switch. We can switch like 6 months one person, 6 months another. Yelena,
with
do you want to be for next 6 months?
I know that my name would come up. I'm just like,
You're just candidate. And
not thrilled about. Okay.
but
Oh wow,
for the
another.
girls that interested in admin job, they not there yet because don't have many experiences. But that is very good opportunity to learn deep into it. So you can secure yourself hours with a brokerage, right? So from this
Mhm.
point of view, it's also interesting.
the only thing
Yeah.
with that is that it is superly highly confidential information because you're dealing with other people's information, right?
Yeah.
So would not recommend to have many
That's
people.
why Elena, she already
Mhm.
know all this
If you-
information, yeah, kind of her deals already.
Yeah.
So that would be good. It's a person who can be well organized, who can good in explaining. There's a list who this person is. So
Yeah.
she perfectly fits that, kind of description. Yeah.
And right now, like with your brokerage, I mean, especially, Elena, you're the realtor, right? You are the one, you and Natalia. So from there, I mean, it's pretty easy for yourself because it's your own deals that you're doing. And then
Yeah.
you just have to make sure that it's filed somewhere and then you're following the protocols and stuff for the office and everything to go. So, I mean, it's not difficult. It's just a
Okay.
matter of the right things.
Yeah.
Okay, I
just
can try it for a month.
4 months.
Let's see
It's
how
a
it
need to
goes.
be commitment. Yeah, at least maybe until May. Let's see. Yeah. It's
Okay, just
actually
let me know
fun.
exactly what I need to do. Because
The
I'm
more,
pretty
you
comfortable
know-
doing compliance. Here's my hesitation. I'm pretty comfortable doing my compliance for my own deals. Like Steven said, I know exactly what's involved when it comes to buying and selling real estate and what are the checklists that I have to, tick to submit a deal. But I'm less familiar with rental side of things.
Yep.
So, if I'm going to be doing compliance for both,
No, for
I need to
rental,
make,
we don't need
Yeah.
technically do it. We just
Yeah.
doing it so we get
That's
comfortable.
it.
So you
Okay.
only need to do for your own deals at this moment,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy then.
'Cause that's the
Okay,
thing.
great.
That's like, Elena,
Right.
once you fill out the forms right, and once it's there, I mean, there's a lot of the form that you're not going to fill out. There's only a little bit of it that you're going to do, and stuff like that. And like I said, it's not overly difficult, especially for the sale of the property and stuff like that. And, it's just a matter of being able to file it somewhere that the brokerage will be able to get access to that, whether it's in paper or whether it's online.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how you guys are filing your stuff, but
Yeah,
Just-
we've got a good Google Drive, like Office Google Drive now. So
perfect.
yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I mean, if there's anything I can do to help you guys, I mean, don't be afraid to reach out, and it'd be good to go. But any other questions? Because I do have to get out of here in another minute or so. But yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Steven, for joining. It was
no
pleasure
problem.
Yeah,
to learn your insights about FinTrack.
hey, it's not a problem at all. And I do wish you guys all the best. And for the people that are watching, I mean, I can't see you on my thing right now unless you're talking. So it's very nice to see everybody, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And we'll talk again soon.
all right. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Welcome.
Yeah, bye-bye.
It's actually so many layers to it, guys. So the more I go into this, I like it more and more. So I even scared, like a real estate can lose me and I go to be compliance officer full time. So it's not that simple, and it's interesting. Like if you look from this point of view, right? So I know just both of you were wanting to do some admin work, right? So
Yeah.
for brokerage. So from this point of view, it's very good, good corner of it, right? Because it's always there. It's always need to be compliance. Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's see the test. So more kind of interesting. What do you think mean CAMLI? And I was showing earlier that one on a screen. So you already should saw it during this presentation. Right? Any idea?
Is it Canadian? Is it money laundering? I don't know.
You see, I saw the website, right? The Canadian Anti-Money Laundering
Anti-money laundering.
Institute. So institute means you can actually become the officer. It's a profession. And when you just join, you will have courses, right? So I encourage to take these courses not 2 years later, but right away, because when take right away, it's still good for your 2 years. You have to do upgrade courses every 2 years, right? As part of the professional growth. So take anti-money laundering one, because it
Okay.
still will give you, points, and right away, and then you can hopefully even participate and make some money with brokerage to doing those procedures, right? So that's what is CTR. So for rental agents, they often mistaken it with terms for rental agents. Do you know what is CTR?
Well,
Any idea?
No.
Because rental agent, you know what would say? Most likely he'll say, oh, I know exactly what it is. It's short-term rentals, Yeah. But in FinTrack, it means something different. It means, right? Yeah, different words. So it means suspicious transaction report, right? So it's a good term to know, right? Also. And what is PEP? I'm already opening here answers. Can you see here?
PEP.
PEP. Yeah. So, and what is HOI? So this one you can search yourself to see on those websites, right?
Yeah.
See if you find it. So this little bit games like this make you think about, at least to know major terms. I know it's not everything, but when we start thinking about it and when we good, then we like it. Yeah. For example, like FATF, right? Financial Action Task Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for the brokerage to be admin, this part of the job, what you do, you take these forms, realtor put it, because realtors, they are running around, right? So they are hurry. And you make sure everywhere ticked, everywhere signed, and it's in the right folders, right? And for that, you get paid by hour. So it's a money making for you. Same time you have, you kind of profession, because compliance officer, it is profession. You see, on this training institute, Canadian Anti-Money Laundering, you have a courses when you can become a officially by profession compliance officer. Yeah. So it's a good to have, as maybe like it's gonna be 10% of overall admin work and brokerage, but it's a very important and it's always there. Yeah. So good, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this opportunity for you? Like it's applicable to both of you in this way. If you take interest in it, then you can in brokerage be eventually the officer, or even if you just admin, right, to do part of these jobs, right?
Yeah.
Because when you see the here, it's a roles, right? Senior officer would be brokerage,
Yeah.
but compliance officer you can be, auditor you can be. Auditor is somebody inside brokerage who knows brokerage well, and every 2 years do review. How is compliance officer doing? For example, Elena, compliance officer, and you audit her, how she done her job. Yeah. So it's give you some hours to work. It's a realtor. Of course, realtor always have to do it with every deal he spot and stuff, right? So receipts of funds, put it all in the right folder, delegate them to compliance officer to say, or remind them, did you check this file by this realtor, right? Is it done correctly? All the things admin doing in a brokerage, yeah? So we learn a little bit, little corners of what can do. And which is good with brokerage, you can do something you like more, you can do more hours, right? Like if you're really passionate about FinTrack, about compliance, everybody write documents correctly, everybody do deals correctly. It's a job to check all of them, right? And
Yeah.
it's paid by hour, so it's a good. So you think about this from this point of view, and it suddenly become very attractive. Huh? And when you know details, everything we know we like, right? Once you know this, you feel more comfortable. Then the more I learn in it, I like it every day more and more. And there's so many layers to it.
I can do that, but actually I don't know what to do, how to fill the forms and
Yeah, that's why we're learning slowly. Yeah, so now we see what the position, and we can see. But in a course, they teach you step by step, right? Because for course you have to take anyway courses every 2 years, right?
yeah.
And you have to pay for them, and you get certain points. So why not take courses that can bring you money to make, right? On a side to your own. So that's what I'm saying. It could be good this way, right? If you're interested. But
Yeah.
with somebody who is really interested, because it's important. The fines, like in a 600,000 area, right? Like if you do something wrong, if brokerage done something wrong, smallest fine will be $54,000 for one mistake, right? So this is important, not to just take it. Oh, anyway, I will say to Natalia I did, but I go talk to my girlfriend. Yeah, it's not gonna fly, because once they come check, they're really gonna know if you did good job or not. You know what I mean, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you say you're gonna do it, you need to be very, very responsible, because a very responsible part of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Grace? You like this kind?
The
Yeah,
fine
it's
position.
enough job for everyone on this corner, because it's always have to be done, and always have to be done perfectly, right? So what exactly to be done, we learn slowly, so you don't get overwhelmed and run away. Oh my God, it's too much for me, right? But it's actually like was my first impression, because I did the course last year, right? And last year I was like, oh no, it's like too much, I don't know. But this year I taken the same course, and I just love it. It suddenly clicked for me, right? So it may not click right away, but if you stay on it, and sooner or later clicked, and you're gonna love it. Yeah, I'm very sure, because it's very corresponding with profession of, for example, property manager, even more than a realtor, for strange reason. Because if you think about it, what people pay us to, for what? What we're doing when we check tenant, right? What are we doing? We are suspecting tenant. We are suspicious, yeah, if he done, and it's exactly compliance officer. It's what the job about, to be suspicious what this buyer about, yeah. So as a property manager, to be compliance officer, it's even more skills, because people pay us to be suspicious about tenant, so we check all corners, aspects, so we didn't put a bad tenant. Yeah. Are you girls suspicious by nature or not? Are you very trusting? It's only can be a little bit natural things, or discipline. If you just like everything organized, every check in order, it's also flies way, right? I'm just trying to figure out your personality, what corners of the brokerage jobs fits you best. Yeah.
Yeah. I am not suspicious, by the way, by nature, but sometimes I notice if something is suspicious at my work, but it's not very, I am not by nature suspicious.
Yeah, so but you have a good intuition, right? So you feel
Yeah.
if something's wrong, even it's good. Yeah, like woman's intuition, it's very good. What about you, Grace?
Are they all long distance based, or is more about physical? Which one is more long distance one?
Sorry,
Which one can be done
by
at a
you?
home? Yeah, home base.
Yeah,
job.
basically at this moment when you're just starting, all from the left to right, all 4 of them can be done. Like senior, when you have more experience after a couple of years, also can do, even not being licensed, but as long as you work in brokerage and you know all things, right? But like, I mean, when you real estate, it's part of your duty to check its clients, to fill out forms. But at the brokerage, it's more than this. You check if everyone done it correctly, yeah? Check over after them, yeah?
I think I prefer the compliance officer or the one that reports suspicious transactions because when I do my past business, I can always suggest advice to the company what gaps to fill, what is not done perfect yet. So
Oh, okay, yeah. So you like to find mistakes.
yeah,
It's like also
I'm finding,
auditor, right? So Yelena will do, but then you come in and say, okay, let me check if Yelena got to do a good job or not, or if she missed something. This is auditor job, right? It's
that's
auditor.
what
Auditor
I
is
always
within
do at
company.
home.
Mhm.
Yes.
And stuff. So actually can be all 4 or all 5, yeah, all 6 even. Once you know like more, on the left 2, it's just with time. After 2 years, you can do that one too. So it's, you see how many jobs it is. So I just today show you little, because people when they run brokerage, they don't know. They think, oh, if I work in a brokerage and just put paper from one side to another, or I answer the phone, or I say hi, yeah. But it's so much more than that. It's so many little things. So we can just learn one by one. And after you tell me which one you like, yeah, because you need to do what you love, right? And we try to do what you love. Even if you do it like few months and you say, you know what, Natalia, I did it, but I really hate this part, right? So I try to adjust what you like to do. This is important, to when we love what we do. But you know, we don't love something what we don't know or we scare of. Once we know, we learn, we tend to love it. So we need to give time to opportunity for ourselves to like it. Otherwise, if we just give up too early, we're never gonna give us opportunity. Yeah. So good. I hope you learned something interesting today, something unusual will make you think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And next Friday we can dip a little bit more in few of those things. And
Okay.
also,
And what? So to do any of those, we have to take courses.
not it can be learned on a job, but since you need to take courses anyways, right? Because it's like with lit of courses, you will have to take them. If you take this course, more likely will be easier for you to do it on a job, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Canadian anti-money laundry.
No, there are courses part of real estate profession. And you have to take every 2 years 18 points of courses, like each course 5 points or something. So every 2 years you need to take 5 courses or 6 courses just to renew your license. Otherwise they will not renew, right?
Okay,
So
I
what
didn't
I
know that.
usually do, I always take courses, not I wait until last moment, finish 2 years. As long as 2 years start, I take courses because it's good for me. When I learn something new, I already using it 2 years earlier than rather than later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anti-money laundering for realtors, it's a simple course. Actually, it's mandatory. For realtor grace, you have to take it anyways, right? But for us, like rentals, just to be able to assist realtors and get paid by hours for that, right? Because we can help them with these forms. We can help them with organizing some files. So we can take this course too, right? And then make money on hourly after we do our tasks, yeah?
Yeah.
Because actually it's not many people knowledgeable about these girls. If we learn it very good and if we're really passionate, we prepare like these slides. We actually can go around to all brokerages. They will gladly pay for service and do auditor's job. Because everybody need to every 2 years auditors, and they can do it from inside or outside. So if they see we're all together, we have a deep knowledge compared to everybody else, they would happy to pay us to do this auditor job. So it can become a business, yeah. Even this little corner, yeah, because this year they were running around looking who to pay just to take it off the shop. They really want to pay right away. Once changes, now there's some changes, right? So every time changes, every brokerage panic, and we can do even that. So its opportunity is endless, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
And prepare slides with this, even for realtors inside. And then we have this teaching, we can teach them outside, inside, yeah? Even Steve have this storm organization, and we will do trainings. So we participate in their trainings, they participate in ours together, right? From Ontario, but something in common. So we can do for them, they do some other for us, so like this. So opportunity is endless, yeah? Even on this little thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, but about your form, did you already complete the
Yeah,
form?
my criminal record check has been done, and I have also filled the other form. I messaged Aryan today. I emailed him.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I
So I
hope
will
I
check
thought,
it out and see, and then we can just, I will need to sign it and then we submit. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. So you
Yeah,
done.
do I have to submit it like online, or it will go through email? I don't know about that.
You can do it, I believe now you can do even both. Before by mail, now you can do even online, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. He can
Okay, I will
guide you
take it.
through that. I will check the form and also he can guide you for details if something needs to be adjusted or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So how today was interesting?
Yeah, it was very nice to meet with Steve. He was so inspiring.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're planning to have with him continuous on relationship. So he will be like a senior mentor to us, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's wonderful. And also we meet before some other people like his managing broker, Dave, also very nice guy. He also sometimes comes to inspire us.
Nice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Natalia.
Have a nice weekend, girls.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.